I'm fine, thank you. And you? This is the most common answer to how are you that we'll learn at school. However, native speakers in real life use so many more different expressions. Today, we'll have a look at them so that you could expand your English vocabulary. If you're ready, let's get started.
Everything's in English.
All you need to know.
All right. How did you learn to speak English?
To be honest, there is nothing wrong with saying I'm fine. The word fine, though, is quite interesting because depending on the intonation that you say it with, it can mean all sorts of things. There is even a joke that, when you're asked how are you, the levels would be great, very good, good, okay, terrible, fine. So fine, if someone says, especially, if a couple are arguing, one of them says, how are you? And the other one says, fine. That means that the world is gonna explode, that that person is definitely not fine. So be careful with the word fine and be aware of the intonation that you say it with.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
So let's have a look at some of the most common phrases that you can use to answer the question, how are you? Of course, you can say, I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good.
Or pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
These are positive answers. It means that everything's going well. Or you can say, I'm well. The word well very often is referred to your health state. Also be careful with that. But in general, it's totally fine to say, yeah, I'm well.
I'm well.
If you're not ready to use any positive adjectives, you can say, I'm okay. Again, depending on the intonation, it can be a good okay, or it can be struggling okay. Pay attention to how the person says it. Maybe your friend needs help. If you're feeling positive, more positive than negative, you can say, yes, I'm okay. If you're not sure, you can say, yeah, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
You can also say, not too bad. This phrase is very common in the UK. People just love it. There is too bad, but you are not like bad. Just a little bit better than that. Not too bad. But of course, the meaning is quite positive. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
The next phrase is also very popular. So when you're asked, how are you? You can say, just the same old. Or you can remove just the and say, same old, which means nothing really changed in your life or there hasn't been any major improvements or problems. Same old.
Same old.
And here are some more positive examples. You can say, I'm alright.
Mine.
Or you can say, can't complain, which means that nothing bad is happening in your life, so there is nothing really to complain about, which means you're doing well. Can't complain.
I can't complain.
If nothing special is happening in your life or you just can't think of anything to say, you can say, nothing much. How are you? Nothing much. It means, yeah, nothing special. I'm okay. It's that kind of thing.
Nothing much.
Or you can say, yeah, good enough, which is very similar to not too bad. Yeah, not too bad, good enough.
Good enough.
Guys, we've been teaching you English for years and we've noticed that you make the same mistakes, which is totally okay, by the way. But we just wanted to help you. So we created an ebook with 365 most common English mistakes. All you need is a couple of minutes every day, and in 1 year, you're not going to make the same mistakes. More so, you'll develop a habit of learning English every day. Even 3-5 minutes every day count. The link will be down below. Don't miss out on a chance to learn English in such a fun way. If, for example, you started something new recently, a new job, your university course, and somebody asks, how are you? You can say, so far so good, which means that you started something and until now, everything's going well. So far means until this moment. So far, so good.
So far, so good.
You can also say, doing well, what about you? Again, do you notice that answering such a question as, how are you? You don't have to start it with, I am or I'm doing. You can just say, doing well.
Doing well.
Omit the initial part. It's understood from the situation that it's about you. So you can just say, doing well. How about you? It's a very good idea to invite the other person into the conversation. So you can say, how about you? And what about you?
What about you?
If something hasn't been great with you, you can say, could be better, which means that it's not terrible, but could be better. There's still something that's not very good. So if you're asked, how are you? You can say, could be better. Too much work, for example.
Be better, could be worse.
If somebody asks you, how are you? And maybe something wasn't going that well, but you're feeling better now, there are a few ways of expressing that. For example, you can say, better now that you asked. So you see, sometimes asking somebody, how are you, can make them feel better. Or to say the same thing, you can say, better now that I'm talking to you. Or you can say, much better now that you're here.
Are you okay? Much better now.
Sometimes if things are not going that well, you don't have to say it directly, but you can use, metaphors to express that. For example, if somebody says, how are you? And you say, I could really go for a massage, which means, I've been stressed, or I need to relax. So sometimes you can use some other kind of sentences just to let the other person understand that you've been stressed or how you've been feeling.
I know I could really go for some Chinese.
Or you can say, overworked and underpaid, which means you've been working way too much, but you haven't been getting paid enough.
Just overworked.
Well, I hope you learned something new today, and because the question, how are you, is so popular, you're definitely going to have a lot of chances to practice the phrases from today's lesson. Subscribe to English with LinguaTrip, watch these lessons, and I'll see you next time. So let's have a look at some common phrases that you can use. So let's have a look in... Well, let's hope that the...